hay mowing time. I'm not expecting anything super spectacular as far as yield goes because of how dry we've been, but there's something here, so should make second cutting. I mean, there's not a lot of it here, but what is here should be pretty darn nice. So the alfalfa's looking good. Hoping to get everything cut today. As long as we don't have any problems, I think we're going to be able to handle it. But I guess we're fixing to find out, right? This is going to be some really nice hay, it's looking like, though. On the outside for second, then jump up to third. Well, I jinxed myself. Hopefully we get that back together. I've been so worried about figuring out the cutter bar that I kind of forgot about getting stuff together to get a second pitman arm together. So hopefully we can get something rigged up on this to get it through. I guess we're about to find out. start, but we are rolling. Actually, this field's done. Got that breakaway welded up, got it put back together, then the cutter bar was locked up, couldn't get it to move, then I started fiddling with that, found out I had to re-shim, so they screwed with the cutter bar, got all that done, then tractor would start, had to jump it, don't know why, battery is brand new, Dad put that in there like a month ago, so I don't know if we got a parasitic draw coming on or what. So anyhow, we're off to the next field. I'm just gonna roll my window up and lock the truck. Can't do that. YouTube's gonna be ticked. Hopefully the door dinger covered up enough of that. YouTube and music are a pain. So, on to the next one. I'm still hoping maybe to get done tonight. We might be cutting in the dark. It's just gonna depend on if I can do it without water. I just realized that the camera has been on this entire time I've been mowing this field, so I'm about out of battery. But, whoops. But this field's done. Dew's starting to set, but it is still cutting. So we're gonna go get Shelly's mom's finished up. That's only an acre. It shouldn't take long. So fingers crossed we get done tonight. Tell you what, they can just leave this highway shut down for forever. This is nice. They got it shut down for like 5 miles because they replaced a bunch of big box culverts and widening the road in a few spots. So no traffic. I've just got a big concrete parking lot out here. Mint. Well, we're not done. I got, you can't see it. I got 3 rounds around this field and the breakaway broke again. This time the opposite side in a different spot. And naturally it's dark enough I can't find the piece to put it back together. So I'll have to come over here first thing in the morning and see if I can find the piece, and hopefully we can get it welded back together. I mean, I got a half acre to go, if that. 15 more minutes and I'd have been done. So I guess we'll see what happens in the morning. Well, we came over here this morning with the metal detector, and with a little bit of luck found my broke piece. Hopefully that's all of it. I think it is. Hopefully nothing else broke after. Hopefully both legs are still on it, but I guess go back and try to weld that on. That's literally all I got left. I got 3 rounds all the way around, and by the time you get the 4th one on, it's like 3 rounds to finish up. It's nothing. like I say, 15 more minutes I'd have been done. But on the upside, it does look like we fixed the cutter bar issue. Now we just have to fix the pitman arm issue. Okay, cross your fingers. It's welded back together. Luckily, that is a very, very high grade of forged steel, and it welds beautiful. It also helps that Dad is a top-notch welder, but so hopefully it holds steady. I got this. This is all she's got to hold together for. So we'll talk about some more of this after we give her the good old college try. Fingers crossed. Where can we set you? Well, she held together. I was honestly surprised how well this thing handled all that. I mean, the dew's still, it's not as heavy as it was when I was over here first thing this morning, but it's still pretty heavy, and I was very impressed how well this thing handled it. I figured it would want to wrap around the crimper and or not want to roll off the bar, but cut like nothing. If it was taller, probably would have been a little different story, but I'll take it. And it held together, so I'll take that. So, with all that being said, we're through second cutting. She held together. Cutter bar, not a single problem. Probably probably slide it back out at some point and take a look at it, see if it's broke or underneath that splicer, if it all held together like it's supposed to. I did, while I was waiting for that to cool down this morning so I could put everything back together, I did call Maybaugh about some parts. Parts Depot shows 3 of these in their Tennessee location, and Maybaugh had 1 on the shelf. Unfortunately, they did not show. That's not to say it's not there. They could have changed part numbers or something throughout the years. They did not show either one of these halves or the latch. But they were gonna have Joe. I guess Joe's the best guy there at finding the off-the-wall stuff. So, and he wasn't working today. He had today off, so they were gonna turn him loose on that Monday. So I guess there's several ways to go about this. I love this mower. It cuts like a dream. It's nimble. It's the perfect size for these little 3 little pieces that I need. If I did get a hay bind, it would have to be a 7-footer, because you're not going to get a 9-footer. A 9-foot ain't going to work. I'd have to have a 7. And not being mid-mounted, like going down around that corner and stuff at the bottom, or semi-mounted, going down around that corner and stuff, it just, the ground I have is not ideal for a hay bind. It would almost have to be something mounted like a drum mower, a little 5-footer or 7-footer, and at that point, like, why bother? So, but I mean, this mower cuts awesome. You can haul with it. The crimper works. I mean, everything about this thing works good. We just got to do something to, I guess, bulletproof it, so to speak, since we can't, since parts are the issue. But kind of him hawing on several options. Either A would be finding the correct parts to make it real easy and put it back together. B would be to modify the knife head to accept a rubber bushing, like kind of like what Deere ran on their shaker pans on like the 100 series and all the way up through it. I don't know if they're still using them or not, but like the 6600, 6620, all the way up through the 9500, 9510, all those. They had those rubber bushings that were about yay big around. Modify the drive head to take one of those, and then just eliminate the breakaway, because I mean, you're cutting hay, you don't really need it. And this thing's got a snap clutch inside the gearbox anyhow, so it's kind of redundant. I mean, I get why they did it, but if it's hard to find the parts, ain't no sense in keeping it. So either do that, or in all reality, the shape of this thing isn't super duper hard to replicate, but make something out of regular old steel and have it heat treated and go that route. But there's options. Or look and see. The problem with any Pitman style mower is, if there are parts available for sickle mowers anymore, they're going to be available for the newer wobble box style. I don't know if you can look, I don't know if I can figure out a model of like a New Holland Pitman mower and see what they use for a breakaway. I mean, the ball and socket, I think, is like damn near an industry standard size. It seems like everybody used the same size ball and the same size socket. It's just a matter of, did everybody make their own breakaway couplings so that they were special? But look and see like what New Holland used, because that would probably be the easiest to find new if you had to. But basically put parts on it that are easy to get, or something that we can easily make, to just make it not such a pain when something, and Like, as far as the pitman arm shutting me down, that is 100% entirely my fault. I should have had a second pitman arm assembly assembled and sitting on the shelf waiting to go, but then the cutter bar started screwing up and the tensions got changed and everything else going on, and it's just one of the things that got forgotten about, and then you forget about it till you need it. So there's options to explore, but they can be explored later. We got through this, so that's all that matters. And I don't think this stuff I just cut today is going to be too god-awful far behind the stuff I cut last night, because I was cutting in the dark. It's not like it did a whole lot of wilting overnight anyhow. So, but obviously none of it's going to rake today. It might rake and bale tomorrow. I have my doubts. The stuff I cut earlier yesterday might rake and bale tomorrow, but my guess is rake tomorrow, bale Monday, if I had to guess. There's not gonna be a whole lot because of lack of rainfall, and especially this field is rather droughty, I'm guessing, because when they filled this hillside in to build that tower, if I had to guess, they packed the ever-living fuck out of it to make it stable. And it just, if this hillside, or if this area gets dry, it gets dry. So the other two fields are, I mean, you're obviously not first cutting, but the other two fields do pretty good. Those fields are a little wetter, or a little more better at holding moisture, I should say. So, but I guess since we're here, and ain't no sense in splitting the day up into two videos, because that just makes it a pain in the ass on my end. I'm gonna go home, get the mower unhooked, get the crimper drug home, probably get a bite to eat, and then we're gonna go spray some beans. Shouldn't take that long, it's 11 acres, but we gotta get some. It's the field I had to replant, so we'll get to see that. So we'll catch you here in probably an hour, hour and a half. All right, I'm ready to, I got everything put away, had some lunch. We're ready to start loading a sprayer, but I figured real quick. I've had several questions about the chickens. The ducks are still here. They seem to have zero interest in leaving. They apparently like having food that they don't have to fight for, and shelter and what have you. I always find it funny. Got these animal activists. Wild animals are not pets. Wild animals. Well, now, let me put a caveat on this. Like, for instance, we went to the zoo for Christmas lights and stuff a while back, and obviously a while back during Christmas. And we went there, and they had a, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was a tiger or a leopard in a cage. And you could tell that poor thing was just wigging out because it was just pacing. So, like, there's certain cases, but like wild ducks and crap, yeah, the life expectancy goes through the roof because there's not, you know, multiple things trying to eat them, and they're not fighting for food and blah 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 blah. But there's one. There's, you know, all the ducks are still here. The chickens have been laying. She said Shelly's been getting, she said, between 10 and 12 eggs a day. I can already see 4 in there, so chickens are doing good. As you can tell, the dogs clearly are still not used to them being here. Actually, it's really only, they really only get antsy when somebody goes in and they can't see them, but you get the idea. So yeah, chickens are doing good. They've been laying. We have eggs running out our ears now. Shelly sold her first, or made her, technically her second sale. My aunt bought some a couple weeks ago, but she made her first big sale yesterday, so they're starting to move. We're never going to be able to use them here as fast as they're laying them, so. But I want to get a sign made that I could put out on the highway. Talk to one of the people who lives out there, see if they'd let me put it in their yard or something. But get a sign made with like the, it says Carpenter Farms across the top, and then underneath it makes signs you can hang and stack that say like hay, straw, pumpkins, eggs, like, so when you don't have them you can go up there and just take the sign down. But something like that, get a little highway advertising. Okay, get Mighty Mite out here. Can't see sun glare. We're good. Great. Spider's been going nuts in here. Alright, we're going to see how well my bag cover worked. It doesn't look like the motor's been wet this entire time, so we'll see how well she starts. It hasn't been run since whenever I did that spot spraying on the beans a month or so ago. Because I got the camera running. Well, guess help put gas in it. Put gas in it, it does tend to fire right up. Got about 11-ish acres to spray, so we'll put about 120, 130 in it, just so we don't run out. All right, I gotta remember, okay, that's actual request. I brought 3 gallon of Roundup home from work. I'm just gonna run straight Roundup on this. It's kind of a delicate time of year to be hitting it with too many chemicals, but Roundup is like the tamest thing that you could spray on it. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. I thought about throwing a little Liberty in with it, but it just, we're starting to flower, and just Roundup's by far the safest thing. And basically there's only grass out there and some velvet leaf, a little bit of pokeweed, but it's not like there's ragweed or anything stupid that Roundup's not gonna kill. So, but I do have to put my request in first. There'll also be a little bit of residual. There was some, I don't know, about 5-10 gallon in there from when I was spraying earlier in the summer, so there'll be a little bit of residual enlist, some Zidua. I think I was spraying enlist, Zidua, and Roundup anyhow, so, but not enough to do much of anything. So throw my water conditioner in, my Roundup in, and we'll be off to the races. There's just enough stuff growing out here to be annoying, and like I say, it's mostly giant foxtail and velvet leaf. Most of the velvet leaf's over here, but for as late as it got planted, they are dang good looking beans. But I'm going to unfold here, and I'm going to let it run for a second, purge the booms, because once that enlist has been sitting in there, so it's going to be really, really hot. We don't want to kill the first 20 feet while the booms are cleaning out. So Alright, that job's done. I'll have to do a little scouting at the other two places that got replanted, see if they need anything. I got sprayers leaning a little bit. It looks like I got about 20, a little over 20 gallon left. Probably closer to 20. It's tipped this way, but so usage came out about right. I had about $1.30 in there when we started and should use about 110, so must have been overlapping fairly consistently. So well, that was my main two events for the day, was finishing up that hay and getting this done. So I guess now I gotta, there's another thing I want to get done yet today, so but that will be subject for another time. So that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.